Thanks a lot, guys, here in Seattle with the one and only Deuce McAllister. Boy, we saw a little bit of everything in that game, and I think that's good. It's a good team win.
Well, it's a good team win, but even after a successful trip as far as the West Coast is concerned, successful as last game. It was a game that you needed. And I think that this team, found a way to win, and everybody knew that they were going to have to step up, not to say that that's not the normal effort that you get, but, when you can have a special team impact play and then obviously a scoop and score on defense, that puts a lot of pressure on any defense. And so, hats off to the Saints. And then even from a game planning and offensive standpoint, you saw some of the strengths of Teddy. And I don't even know if you saw the full amount because they went first and 25, they went first and 20, and so to overcome it shows a lot about just that team and the character, and then, pretty good game.
You've been out here with the team, though, the whole time they've been here on the left coast, and Sean Payton said afterwards that he kind of felt it during the week. The practices were crisp, the preparation was good. Did you feel that, too?
Yeah, you felt it, and, but I wanted to stay out of Sean's way. He was a little bit snappy all week, and so that's a good thing for him, because he is demanding that his guys go out and just do the job, and sometimes that's not necessarily what he's always going to demand it, but it's how he demands it as far as guys going out and executing and competing. And what was surprising to me was up on that flight coming back, it wasn't sad doom and gloom, even though you knew your quarterback would be possibly missing some games. What you saw was leadership, like guys standing up, getting up, talking. Cam Jordan, you saw him up, Teron Armstead, Thomas Morstead is always up checking on guys. But they were not going to, hey, look, woe is me, I'm putting my head down, I want you to feel sorry for me. They weren't doing that, and so that's when you saw right away, it was like, yeah, this might be a pretty special group.
Along those same lines, though, it seemed like in the locker room talking to these guys, they felt like all of them had to step up with number 9 not being here, and you saw that in this game.
Well, me and Zach got to talk to Alvin a little bit, and, we're just messing around, and he was just like, hey, look, man, guys are going to have to step up, and say something. You can't lean on 9 anymore. Me and Zach looked at him. It's got to be you. Let it be you. Let it be you, be the voice in there, because, one, you're probably going to scare the mess out of him because you don't talk. He's not a very vocal guy. And so if you're in there barking and yelling, guys are going to look like, oh, I better do my job, because, he's a leader, but he's a silent leader. So, just told him, let it be you. Let it be you, be the guy that steps up. And then it's not like he has a non-outstanding game. He normally always does, but today was special.
You saw the whole Alvin Kamara platter, catching the football, running it. He was the workhorse in this game. How impressed were you, and where would you rank this maybe in terms of his performances?
I have to go back and really look at it and say, yeah, he's played better. But I think it was just the manner and the way that he played, which was outstanding. He had probably another 2 runs that were penalty on that could have even add more to that stat line. And so his ability to break tackles, his ability to have the outstanding balance, it's just impressive. And he's still a young player. This is only year 3.
You know Drew Brees very well.
Mm-hmm.
How hard was it for Drew Brees to be at home watching this football game?
Well, he's not even at home. Right now he can't even travel, so he's still in, I think it's in California, rehabbing that thumb. And so for him to be able to watch it, and so there's not a direct line that he's calling in, and he obviously knows the plays because he can tell based off formations. But trust me, he's itching. He's itching just to get back around these guys and just to be in that football sense and that mode. And so it won't be long.
Final question, it won't be long, but what does it do for this football team to win in a place that's hard to win on the road, do it in this fashion with the team effort, and doing it without number 9?
That was going to be a long flight home if they are not successful. And then you just have to question really a lot of the things that you were doing. But for them to have some success and and still make some mistakes, that's what the coaches are going to harp on. If we clean this up, we can play better. If we do this, maybe this situation doesn't have. And I think that's probably the most impressive part of it and piece of it. So still a lot of football left, still a long way to go. But you're happy to be able to come off this West Coast trip at least 1-1.
Now it's a fun flight. The Saints get a special teams touchdown. They get a defensive touchdown. They get an offensive touchdown. Only the 3rd time in franchise history they've done that. The 1st time in the Sean Payton era. So quite a complete game. Enjoy the fun flight home. That's Deuce McAllister.
Was Washington the last time?
It was in the 90s. It was in the 90s.
Before me.
Yeah.
I know Michael Lewis had a kickoff and a punt return, and then we scored offensively, but maybe not a defensive score.
Even before Deuce, way back when. Appreciate Deuce McAllister. Back to you guys in the studio.